Hello, everybody. Good evening or good afternoon in this case. Welcome back to the stream. It's me, Digi. Welcome to XP12. And my apologies in advance. I'm trying to figure out what's going on with some of the audio qualities. I keep hearing this clicking, and I'm not sure that I'm going to be able to figure out exactly what's going on. But we're gonna do our best today, and we're gonna enjoy XP for a little bit as we fly down to Orlando from Atlanta. Fuzzy Pickles, hello, my friend. Welcome aboard. Very happy to have you aboard. We are flying American Flight 197, and I've filed a flight plan. I'm not going to be flying with ATC today. Just want to do a nice chill flight today and just relax for a little bit. Welcome, everybody. We are on the flight deck of the Tolis A319. I've enjoyed this aircraft for many years in X-Plane, and the tradition will hopefully continue this afternoon. So I think external power hooks up automatically, so I should be able to get the plane started. By all means, folks, let me know if you hear anything weird in terms of audio, if I'm too loud, or if the sim volume is too quiet. I usually try to keep the volumes to a comfortable level so that I'm not having to talk over too much stuff. But again, I apologize. I'm really trying to figure out why my audio stuff is just coming through so terrible right now. It's not the overall audio quality. It's just the occasional clicking that's going to irritate me a little bit until I forget about it. But we're going to do the best we can and enjoy ourselves. We are connected to ground power, so I'm going to go ahead and test the annunciator lights. Looks like everything's lighting up upstairs, so that's fine. I'm going to test the fire systems. That should be fine. And let's go ahead and get the nav IRS systems aligned. Those are pretty close to real time, so it's going to take me literally 7 some odd minutes to get the plane ready to go. Nav and logo lights to position 1, and I'm going to make sure the overhead lighting's up maximum brightness. We'll get pack floater normal for now, and we will get the standby compass and dome light all the way up, and then we'll start working on getting our systems set. So I don't have I don't have Navigraph hooked up to my Avitab, so I don't use this as much as I used to, but we'll go ahead and get started. I'm going to adjust the brightness on all these screens because it is going to be a daytime flight. Oh, the meal turned out good. I'm trying to remember what it was that I was cooking. Oh, I remember. It was kind of like a improvisational pot roast thing, like a stew, but it didn't really turn out to be a stew because the most of the broth got sopped up by the ramen. But it worked out pretty well. I was eating it for a few days, so I'm happy about that. Let me get my init set, and I don't think I'm going to be able to just request the flight. That's fine, but I should be able to put it in. And it's going to be KATL/KMCO. And we're going to go ahead and hit the Align IRS button, and we will do AAL 197 for our flight. This is off FATSIM, so I'm not going to be doing anything on ATC. You're not going to hear me talking to anybody, but you should see some live traffic in the sim. Yeah, it was pretty tasty. I'll tell you that right now. All right, try to get this flight going as quickly as possible. So I'm going to go ahead and plug these things in and run through my prep. I'm flying at flight level 350, which is actually pretty ambitious for a flight from Atlanta to Florida, but I'm going to pretend there's a reason for it and leave it that way. Now, we're going to go ahead and we're going to fix our fuel and our loadout for today's flight. The sim brief loadout for today says we're going to have a maximum of 7,800 kilograms of fuel. And before I do anything, I'm going to go ahead and turn on high pressure and low pressure air. We have the jetway hooked up, so I'm assuming and pretending that we do have passengers loading or eager to load. We are taking 145 passengers with us. And we're going to be taking 3,600 pounds of cargo. So we're going to take Wow. Let's see. We're over for zero fuel weight. Okay, so we will take 3,000 pounds of cargo when we fully loaded, which means we're going to basically be using much of the runway, and we're going to be using probably a non derated takeoff performance. Now, the flight plan was 3,600 kilograms of cargo and 7,800 kilograms of fuel, but I think I'm going to fall back to actually. Oh, that's why my fuel is off. There we go. 7,800 pounds. Oh, no, no, no. That's actually zero fuel weight, which does mean I'm going to need to go back to 3,000 kilos. Okay, refuel, and we're going to apply these settings. And we're going to say 58.3 at 29.3 is going to be our performance, zero fuel weight, and configuration. We're taking 7.8 thousand kilos for block fuel, which means we're going to have 4,300 extra kilograms available. Oh, enjoy your time with the family, Kev. Love your soul, friend. Good to see you. All right, so we should be fine there, and we'll come back to this shortly. And now what I can do is get my flight plan going. We're going to pick our departure out of Atlanta. We're going to be flying out of runway 9 or left. 9 or left. So 9 or left is going to be our departure. And we're going to take the Schmaltz 3 departure. Excuse me. There we go. Schmaltz 3. While I transition. And then we're going to probably not do much. Direct to ZJ for the Grinch 5. And I'm assuming ZJ is probably the transition there. And we're going to be taking runway 17 left. So it's going to make the taxi a little bit longer than normal. And 18 right isn't available for a landing at this place? No, 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 no. I'm taking whatchamacallit. I'm taking 18 right. I like my 18 right landing. So 18 right for the ILS. And I should be able to choose the Grinch 5. And let's go via Holop. And ZJ, there we go. ZJ's transition. So there we go. It's basically a full flight plan. And just a discontinuity up at the top, which we'll go ahead and remove because I'm not on VATSIM. I don't care. And that's it. That's the whole flight plan. Intercept all the way down to Schmaltz. Wale is going to be not that far away, only like 15 more nautical miles. Yeah, and we're tracking. We are literally tracking 350, and we're going to be able to set up for the approach. When we land, what is the go-around altitude? Give me a moment, and I'll tell you. Let's see. Go-around is probably going to be 4,000. So I'm going to set 4,000 as the final approach altitude, and that should do it. So we've got that set. Let's go ahead and grab our performance numbers. I'm going to go to the ISCS screen again, and now we're going to go ahead and pick our departure. Presuming I can use flaps 1 plus slats, I'm going to have 144, 144, and 146. Excuse me, 146. And there is a flex temp of 65. And flaps are going to be flaps 1 with a down of 0.0. So DN 0.0. So no adjustment there. And transitions 18,000. We are in the States. And that should, I believe, do it. So that takes care of it. And RadNav, if I want to, I have my frequency for the arrival. I'm going to open up my charts page, which you guys aren't seeing, but that's okay. I'm just going through this as fast as I can. And approach is going to be ILS 18 right. We're taking HOLOP for the approach, and I'll probably pick Naval instead of HOLOP because that would kind of mean a little zigzag action. And if I take a look at the ILS approach, we have 111.9 at 185. Okay, that should set itself up, but I'll try to remember that just in case we have issues later. So I'll leave that alone. We have the performance numbers set, we have the flight plan set, and we should be aligning momentarily. So let's go ahead and finish getting our screens up to the brightness levels that I want them to be at. And then we should be ready to hit the road. Okay. So to all my friends out there and everyone watching that likes to lurk, thank you for the lurk. Thank you for the support. Welcome to the stream. We are going to be getting out of here momentarily. I just want to make sure my systems are up to spec. APU battery start not available. Oh, you know why? Probably because I haven't turned on my batteries yet. Yeah, batteries are available now. So that's fine. Fuel is 7,800 kilograms as requested by me. Lyle's good to see you, my friend. Welcome aboard. And we're going to be doing the APU start very shortly. We're running on external power. APU has not started yet. And what do we have for air conditioning? We'll double check that shortly. Okay. Looks like doors are already closed with slides armed, so we should be pushing back momentarily, and that should do it. And we'll leave this alone for now. I like to keep the cabin nice and cold for passenger comfort and for compliance. And now we're going to go to nav and logo position 2, crew supply on, and we're going to turn the fuel pumps on since we'll be pushing back momentarily. Fuel pumps on, external power is on. We're going to get the master APU switch started and the beacon light on. That's all that we need right now, and we're going to go ahead and start it. We do need to arm our emergency lights though. I'm glad I saw that. So, seatbelt signs on, electronics, stow your electronic signals, excuse me, what's that set? What's that notification? It's electronic devices. There we go. What's the setting? Is there like a no smoking section thing that usually pops up? Situations, aircraft config. We'll get the ground services disconnected shortly, but now I think we should be able to get going. Okay. All right. And we're going to be climbing out on the Schmaltz 2. Excuse me, the Schmaltz 3. Schmaltz 3 is a top climb of 10,000, and then we can keep going up from there. And what is the weather at Atlanta today? We're going to check real fast. Weather is altimeter 3010, so we got some high pressure. 3010 constraints. Let's go ahead and plug in our squawk code 2257, and I'll go ahead and go to TARA, go to on, and we should be good. Let me go ahead and get my lights all the way up, and we'll get the APU started now. APU is starting. We'll switch over to APU bleed as soon as we can, and let's go ahead and get the jetway disconnected. So, good afternoon to everybody. Welcome aboard. Let's go ahead, get this flight underway, and get to Orlando this afternoon. We're leaving Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport. This is a default airport that I currently have. I don't have any add-ons, any too many payware add-ons for airports, but I am using real traffic. And it looks like we have a 787 that's going to be going to, what, Poland? Okay, always possible. It also looks like we have more than a few delays going on right now. I'm not sure what's going on with the 757, but we'll check it out shortly. And is Niner left on the bottom or the top? Because if we do have problems with the takeoff, it is at the bottom. Okay. Maybe we'll do 8 right for departure. You know what? Let's do that. And it looks like my GPS primary is available. I'm happy with that. So I'm going to change my departure because ain't nobody got time for traffic. And we're going to be doing, I think, 8 right since it's right next to me. 8 right. Should still be able to do Smaltz 3. And while I insert and there we go. Didn't affect the flight plan. And we should still be good. Great. So, but I do need to redo the performance numbers because I picked a different runway, I guess. Let's see, 144, 144, and 146. Flex temp 65, and flaps 1, down 0. There we go. Flaps set, performance is set. Let's go. Beautiful. Do we have the APU going? We do. APU is on. Let's disconnect external power. And let's go ahead and dismiss the other ground power connections or conveniences. Do I have the parking brake set? I do. So I can remove chocks, remove low pressure and high pressure air, and remove external power. And now we can request pushback. I think I have the better pushback add-on, so I should be able to choose it.
Ground to cockpit. Please show me where you want to go.
Okay, we're going to go ahead and push back right where we are.
Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
All right, while they're driving up, let's just make sure we have everything set. Weather systems aren't on yet. I'm already squawking TARA. Lock the flight deck door. Yeah, I think we should be okay. I believe so. All right. Better pushback is going to connect to our assemblage and give us a push back. Meanwhile, let me go ahead and make sure my controls are available. Okay, good, 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 good.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect.
Looks like I can actually use the tiller with my twist axis on my joystick, which is cool. And again, good afternoon to everybody. Happy to have you aboard for my quick flight down to Orlando this afternoon in XP12. I don't fly this sim nearly enough. It's a great looking sim, honestly. I like it.
Tow connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
Parking brake released.
Starting pushback. And you may start engines.
All right, so let's go ahead and get the block timer started, and let's go ahead and switch over to ignition crank, get engine number 2 underway. Actually, engine's on the other side, but we should be okay. Engine number 2 is starting up. Good things. Wonderful. 18%, I'm fine starting up engine number 1. And let's see if we can get flaps to position 1. No. I'm not used to the flight deck being this quiet, because usually I hear the engine starting up behind me. But maybe my sound is a little low? Let me double check my sound settings. Oh, of course, because I lowered the sound of the interior. There we go. That's a little bit better. Okay, both engines are available.
Operation complete. Set parking brake.
Parking brake set.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
All right, while they're doing that, let's go ahead and check our flight controls. And just make sure we have our stuff available and ready. Full left and full right are good. Let's go ahead and disconnect. Full forward and full back. Full left and full right rudder deflection. And does the tiller do anything? No, it does not. Or at least the tiller does something different. So we should be good, I think.
Tow is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the left. We'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
Thank you so much. Let's go ahead and wrap up our stuff and get ready to go. We just checked our flight controls. They are good, so we should be fine. We will be taxiing. We will be taxiing to 1N Foxtrot 1 Echo Hotel. And there is our friend way over there. Gear pin. Thank you so much, friend. Let's go ahead and double check our stuff here. Auto brake needs to be set to max. There's the auto brake. Cabin. And spoilers. Let's see. Spoilers are armed. Takeoff config, we'll go ahead and test from here since they're not going to go that far. Takeoff config is normal, so we're fine. All right, parking brake release, let's go. All right, we can give it a little extra juice and get on our way. I'm assuming flight 10 is probably going to take about an hour, 5 minutes to get down to Orlando from Atlanta. It's a really, really quick flight. And we're cruising at, I believe I said flight level 350 for today. Yeah, so we're fine. Okay. Coming up on Foxtrot, next right turn is going to be Echo. All right, full idle. We should be able to taxi full idle from this point. Actually, hang on a moment. Did we just pass the required taxiway? Oh, no, no, no. It's right here. All right. Parking brake release. Give me a little extra juice, and we're going to make a right turn. Woohoo! We'll fix the problem right now. All right. Excellent. Yeah, we're good. Keep double checking my levels. Let's give it a little bit more audio. We're going right past the inner marker. That's funny. All right. I'm going to stop real fast here because that's going to start to get annoying really fast. And I'm just going to make sure we're configured for departure and get right onto the taxiway. If someone's coming in, are they coming in on 8 right or 8 left? Looks like 8 left because that plane looks way too small for 8 right. Yeah, we're fine. All right, brakes released. Give me the chrono. And we're going to go ahead and go strobes and landing lights. Takeoff. Oh, and of course, window heats because I want those. Turn the APU bleed off, and let's get going. That's actually quite annoying now. We're getting out of here. All right, we should be fine for departure. No one's crossing right now. Manflex. A little bit more to the right. Flaps configured, 100 knots. Seen. B1 and rotate. Here we go. Beautiful. Positive rate of climb. We're going to go gear up. $700, 800 feet, autopilot. Ground spoiler, disarm. Nose light off. Thrust climb. We really punched it. Wow. I'm glad I kept flaps 1 in. All right, so no matter what, I have to stay at 250 knots at Heisman before I can continue speeding up, assuming I'm above 10,000 feet at that point. But at this point, we are past clean speed, so I can put my flaps and slats away, and now we should be okay. So let's see. Ooh, getting some rain on precip. What's up with this? All right, give me a moment. Weather system 1, weather, predictive wind shear, and GCS. I guess it's not detecting it on the weather. And what's the outside temperature? Outside temperature is 24. So I don't, even SAT is 15. I'm not going to worry about that. Just looked like a passing rain shower. Climbing about 3,400 feet per minute right now. I don't think we're going to be past 10,000 by the time we hit Heisman. So business as usual. And do we have traffic? Can we see traffic on this? I should be able to, but let me just check real fast. No call signs, nothing in front of us except clouds and ortho. Okay, no, we're fine. I'm going to go ahead and push all the way up to 35,000 feet at this point. Interesting. We do have weather. Okay, ice isn't detected, so I'm not going to worry about that. Get ignition mode normal. Oh, crank is on the left side, ignition start is on the right. That's fine. Wow, look at those clouds. Okay, we're about to pass through Heisman. And we're on our way to Trophy on the Smaltz 3. So now we can increase our speed, and now I'm not going to worry about that at all. We are past 10,000 feet. Let's go ahead and put our landing lights away. And probably just keep the wing lights on until we hit cruise. Did I forget anything? No. Probe heat, this plane auto pressurizes, so we're fine there. And yeah. Lights off. Strobe, beacon, wing, nav, logo lights are on. Standby compass on. Dome lights off. No smoking and seatbelt signs are on. And we are well past 10,000. Let the flight attendants know they can begin their service. And that's it. Got some nice ortho beneath me, and we are well on our way to Orlando. We are in X-Plane 12.2. There's an update that released, but I didn't want to download it just before I started flying in case there was any issues. So next time I fly, I'm probably going to install the update and see what happens. They probably made even more improvements to the visuals. Although I'm not 100% sure what they changed, so I guess I have to check the release notes. But we are flying American Airlines Flight 197. We are off FATSIM. We're not on any ATC frequency. We do have a real traffic plugin, and we saw some traffic on the ground at Atlanta. I'm assuming we're going to see traffic on the ground at Orlando. We are climbing to 35,000 feet, which is, again, in my opinion, pretty ambitious considering that we're going to be probably coming right back down. Oh, wait, hold on. No, we're going to be cruising at 35,000 for a little while. So, tell you what, we are... Okay, we're 270 knots for the climb, climbing at 2,300 feet per minute. We're okay. We're okay. We should be fine. Hopefully everybody's having a very, very good weekend. I am taking some time to do a nice flight. I almost made this a trucking stream, but then I just decided, no, I feel like flying an X-Plane 12. I haven't done that in a little bit, and I'm glad I did. The visuals are giving me like giving me happiness that I actually chose to fly, and I see ortho on the ground. I'm using auto ortho to load ortho into the sim. It's not like the baked ortho that I used to have in in X-Plane 11. Theoretically, the ortho is streamed, but I downloaded like, I don't know, 40 to 80 gigs worth of ortho some time ago for the US and for other regions. So I'm pleased with what we have. We are past flight level 180. Let's go ahead and hit standard. Okay, now it is starting to get cold outside the window, so that would be an issue if we ran into preset at this level, but we are above the clouds. It might still be an issue up to like, I don't know, 500 or 1,000 feet above the clouds, something like that. Something about atmospherics right around this level still causing icing. But look at those clouds, man. You used to only be able to see clouds that look this pretty with add-ons, especially in X-Plane 11. And now this is just default. I don't think I'm running X-Enviro right now. No, it's not. It's not running. And I, for one, am happy with what I see right now. The sim is definitely pushing my system, though. Yeah, high GPU load for real. My bitrate's good. Alright, so we just got to Smaltz. Wale is going to be the last waypoint on the trip, and then from Wale to ZJX is going to be 55 nautical miles, and then we're entering the arrival for Orlando, which is the Grinch 5. Actually, let me get myself ready for it. The first boxed altitude restriction is going to be at Bugs after Grinch, which is between 16,000 and 11,000. But that's like 8 waypoints into the arrival. So I'll just make sure that the final approach altitude is set for me coming into the arrival, and we should be good at that point. I'm also really pleased that whatever clicking, excuse me, was going on is for the most part gone. So I'm happy about that. Okay. Can't see too much ortho at flight level 240 because of the haze, but This is most likely pretty realistic in terms of weather, so I'm happy. I was gonna start streaming earlier, but I wanted to take care of something. I don't know if you have any Raspberry Pi machines. A friend of mine sent me a long time ago a case for the Raspberry Pi Zero that makes it look like you're playing with a Game Boy, and I had Recal box distribution running on it, but for some reason the system just started malfunctioning, and I flashed the SD card, the micro SD card again this afternoon before I got started to be able to make it work again, and I'm glad I did because I like having that. I like being able to tinker with things and produce a result. As many of you know, I'm a software developer in real life, so I do some of that stuff for a living, but I didn't have to compile anything. I just had to put a new put a new image of Recalbox on the micro SD card so that I could stick it back in the Pi Zero and then get it to work again. Yeah, I'm pleased. I like the way this looks. Actually, let me see those clouds again. Yeah, looks pretty good. Actually, looks really good. Do we have any aircraft inbound? Let me see. No, nothing that would trigger an alert. Do I see anything? Nope. I'm happy. Where are we? Flight level 270, just passed. Okay. And we have probably about maybe 3 to 5 minutes before we hit top of climb. I'm happy. Let's take a look at windy.com and see what the winds aloft are going to be for our flight. So between Atlanta and Orlando, at least at flight level 340, which is pretty close. Let's see. Winds are here we go. Winds are coming across the tail, kinda sorta, when we cross the Florida Georgia line, and they're going to be going towards the Gulf when we actually start our descent, or by the time we start our descent. So, not that much going on actually, so that's okay. Okay, we are now done with the Smaltz 3 departure. And this is literally the transition into the Grinch 5. So once we set up on the arrival is when we'll eventually begin our descent. But that's going to be a cool probably 15 to 20 minutes out. So people should at least be able to stretch their legs for a little bit, which is fine. Meanwhile, we get to take in this beautiful view, which is lovely. Again, to everybody lurking or watching the replay or just coming into the channel, welcome aboard. My name is Digi Driver, and this is XP12. We are flying the Airbus A319 in American Airlines livery from Atlanta to Orlando. We departed Hartsfield Jackson. How long ago would I say? Literally 25 minutes ago. and we are probably going to descend in another 25 or 30 minutes once we hit cruise. I gotta say, the weather system and the clouds, it just looks so much better than they ever did in X-Plane 11. I'm really happy to see this. Definitely something that I am glad I chose to do this afternoon. Gonna enjoy some time with family later as well, and then I do church early tomorrow, and then set up for the week. Hopefully, this week coming will be a nice week and August will go by. I was very pleased to see that the temperatures where I live over the weekend were nice and cool, relatively speaking. Not as blistering hot as they were last year. Last year we had this. I think it was like between I want to say August through to October. We literally barely had any rain. Like, some water features nearby were almost totally dry. And we were like flirting with the idea of having to start restricting water use where I lived. Fortunately, we got past that and we got a little bit of snow over the winter into 2025, and I'm glad. I like snow, even if I'm the only one that actually gets to shovel it. I like seeing it, and as long as you stay on top of it, it's basically a built-in trip to the gym. If you watch yourself, if you don't abuse your ability to shovel it really fast, just mind your P's and Q's. Take care of your body. But again, last year was really, really, really dry towards the end of the summer, the beginning of fall. I think it was literally up until October, mid to late October, that we actually started getting precip again, and the temperatures got nice and cold, and we we were fortunate that we made it past that period, but it was scary. Um, you know, it was definitely getting on drought and just a situation where it was just so dry. Like, there was no need, there was no point of mowing, and in fact, it was basically a fire hazard if you did. So I'm happy with that. All right, we have got cruise, and now that we've hit cruise, I can start planning the arrival. So let's go ahead and set the descent altitude to 4,000 and get my descent performance set and approach. Can I see the performance from here? Yes, right here. So, Orlando winds are 110 at 15, gusts to 20. So I'm going to put 110 at 20 for winds. Temperature is 31, so it is toasty. QNH is 3005. And let's take a look at the ILS approach for 18 right. It's going to be 111.9 at 185. Yep, 111.9. And the altitude, the MDA, is going to be 294 feet. If we do flaps config 3, we get to do 135, and flaps full is going to be 130. With 5 knots for wind difference, it's going to be 135. So we'll keep flaps full configured for arrival. And I think that should be enough. We should be fine. All right, let's track. And now that we have the altitude set, once we start going down the arrival, we should be good. We don't descend for another easily 10, 15 minutes at this point. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to step away temporarily, take care of some business, and then come back shortly and we will continue. I'm glad I was here for that little weather hiccup, though, in case the autopilot would have disconnected, which it does not appear to have done so. We are still good. Phew. All right. Let me step away now, come back shortly, and we will continue and hopefully finish our flight into Orlando this afternoon. Stand by, BRB. Hello, everyone. I am back. Uh, just double checking. X-Plane likes to consume a lot of resources, but I was away from the flight deck for a little bit. If you came in while I was away, hello. If you came in and you're no longer here, hello. But good afternoon to everybody, and hopefully the sim is not freezing, or rather the stream isn't. Hello, Book of Gaming. Very nice to see you. Let me go ahead and get the flight attendants to make sure you're taken care of. There we go. There we go. The flight attendants have been alerted to your presence, sir. So, very nice. Welcome aboard, everybody. Um, my friends, folks that have popped in today on chat are all streamers. So Fuzzy Pickles 168, Kev McWa, Lyles underscore VT, and book underscore of underscore gaming are all friends of the channel and fellow streamers themselves. If you are lurking and you are not aware of who these wonderful folks are, feel free to go check out their channels. We are well on our way to Orlando. We're going to go visit a certain mouse in a certain house. I I actually wish I was on my way there right now. But Florida in the summer takes commitment. The last time that I went down there, the last time that I went down to Florida was years ago, in like May, June, and it's a mixed it's a mixed bag. I'm gonna tell you right now, because on the one hand, it is very hot at times. On the other, if you don't like the weather, right around that time, it's like you get these, I guess, popcorn thunderstorms that roll through on a regular basis. So it's just like, oh, yeah, you're going to get some rain in about, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes. Sit tight. Actually, it happened the last time that I went down there in December, but it definitely happened on a regular basis when I was down there the last time I went there in the summer. And sometimes, man, you just like you get these rains that come through, and to a certain extent, there was one time Mrs. Digi and I went down there, and it was such a hot day at Animal Kingdom that when we were walking back to the bus station, it just opened up rain. And people were like, huh, get under cover, or like, grab your umbrella, huh. But we just we just took our time. We're like, it's too hot. Just let the rain fall. That's it. So we got soaked. But it was just one of those moments where it was just so nice to just feel not super duper hot at that point. So yeah, again, Florida in the summer. Up to you if you want to do it. I prefer going when it's way cooler, which is probably why December is like peak travel season for like Florida. So there you go. Nice to sit down and enjoy a quick flight. If you're having a good day, that's fantastic. I hope you continue to have one. If you are not feeling the best, if you're tired, if you're exhausted, I've felt similar to that over the past year and a half. Last year, I was in the midst of a very stressful and full-on hardcore project for my job, which just pushed me so far out of my comfort zone that in some ways you might debate that I'm still getting back to a good place mentally. But I'm grateful, and my Heavenly Father watched over me. I pray the same for you. As a follower of Jesus Christ and a born again Christian, it's my desire that everyone that hears this, everyone that's in chat, would come to know Jesus Christ as Lord and Savior. He's a very real intercessory Savior that lived over 2,000 years ago on this planet and died a brutal death for me on a cross to save my soul from hell. If you don't know what Christianity is about, I'm going to give you the elevator pitch right here. We are not living our best lives. We are in a spot where we could be doing so much better, but we're not. We are living separated from Almighty God, the creator of the universe, because of the sins that we commit. And we're imperfect. and we sin, and there are many ways in which we sin. And I'll give you a for instance from my life. I sin when I'm a glutton, and I eat knowing that I'm either, like, not hungry, and I can just eat whatever's in front of me, or when I drive and I drive faster than the speed limit, or when, you know, somebody that I work with, or somebody that I know, asks me about something, and I say, "Oh, well, I don't know," when I clearly know and I'm lying. All of us are broken. All of us are reaching out for something better than what we have or what we know, because we're not satisfied. We're empty. And we fill the void in our lives with a whole bunch of things: drinking, pleasure, work, you know, retail therapy to buy things to make ourselves feel better for a little bit. And there's a God shaped hole in our lives that can only be filled by a relationship with God through Jesus Christ. And He died and rose again to facilitate that relationship for you. He died to pay the penalty for your sins and all the things that you do wrong, because you can't make up that difference yourself. You can't work your way into a perfect relationship with the creator of the universe, because it's like you trying to clean dishes with no soap and no water and grubby hands. It's just not going to happen. And God facilitated Christ's death, burial, and resurrection so that we could reconnect ourselves with God, live with purpose while we're down here, and live in eternity with Him when we die. If we reject God's offer of salvation through Christ, then we spend eternity separated from Him in a place called hell. And it's a very real place. It's not yet manufactured in its final form, but basically, you're going to be in a place where you're not going to be happy for all eternity. And what's worse is that it's not a place you have to go to. You can trust Christ as Savior right now and live for Him and spend eternity with Him. And you can do it as simple as saying, "God, this dude called Digi Driver talked about you, and I want to know you. I want to know a better way of living life because my life sucks right now. I've done bad stuff. I've sinned. I've stolen stuff. I've lied to people. I've hurt people. I don't know what to do with my life anymore. But I want better. I want you to save me. I want you to redeem me through the shed blood of Jesus Christ and the sacrifice that He made for me on the cross. I want Jesus to be my Savior, and I want to spend eternity in heaven with you. Please save me in Jesus' name." And if you pray that prayer and you reach out to Him and you say that Jesus is Lord, and you believe in your heart that God raised Him from the dead, you'll be saved, and you'll spend eternity in heaven with all the followers of Christ who have professed faith in Jesus to connect themselves back to Almighty God. That's my prayer. If that's not something that you care about, if that's not something that you want, then I'm not going to force my beliefs on you. I'm going to let you make that choice for yourself. But at the same time, it is something that I do pray you choose to do some point very soon. Okay, I thought we were supposed to begin our descent. Yeah, I think so. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll be a little bit behind the ball, but hopefully not too much. If this gets past like 2,400 feet per minute, then I'm going to do vertical speed descent based on ground speed. Oh yeah, we're way past that. Okay, so we're going to do 2,600 feet per minute, and 2,000 feet per minute would be great if the ground speed was 400 knots. So let's see, 3 times 5, 1050, 150. What is that? Yeah, 200. So we're descending faster than I think the optimal speed should be. But once we get down to probably flight level 280, we'll probably begin our managed descent. I'm going to turn seatbelt signs back on. And we are now beginning to get down to the ground at Orlando. We should probably be there in another 15 to 20 minutes tops. This is going to be a pretty quick descent. And since we're landing to the south, we're not going to be circling around to the other side of the airport, so we should be good. Also, the runway that I chose was 18 right, so if I exit the runway at a pretty good point, we should be more or less right where I want to be, which is going to be, I think, airside 3. Airside 3 has a whole bunch of terminals. I'm probably going to park up at gate 53, which is kind of like all the way on the inside of one of the sides of the terminals, closest to the the train that takes you into the main terminal, and then basically that should do it. So again, probably going to be maybe 5-10 minutes behind or so, but we should be okay. Not bad. We've really been booking today. Is that the ocean all the way out there? Yeah, I think I see the shoreline. So yeah, it actually is. That's kind of cool. Florida is looking nice and hot today. Nice and hot. Super hazy. Okay, let's go ahead. Let's go back to managed speed. Managed descent, actually. And we are reducing our descent rate at this point. We want to be, I think, between or close to these two purple stripes to keep our descent, I guess, what they say is like on profile, and then that should do it for us. We want to be at or above 17,000 at greeting, and we've got like 30 nautical miles to do that. I think we're on profile to do it. I think we're on profile. We're definitely below flight level 260 at this point, so that's good. All right, good stuff. I'm going to take a look at the plane while we're descending. It's going to get pretty loud, just a fair warning. I'm going to switch to it right now. Looking good. Are we flying past Jacksonville? No, 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 no. That could be a different airport, but definitely not it. This definitely does take me back to um, definitely does take me back to flying down here to spend time with the family at Disney World. This isn't the exact same flight that I take, but when we get there, we hop on a bus, we check in, and it's like I tell people, the that feeling you get when you first get to your room, and you like put your clothes away, or like you put your suitcase on your bed, and then like you go grab dinner with your family. It's just it's wonderful for me. That first the first afternoon, that first night feeling is great, barring any problems getting your rooms, of course. But I usually like to, just like settle in and just like and set up for a vacation, which almost always goes by way too quickly. Especially if you do it with your family, because I'm sure everybody has different expectations of what they want to do. Need a soundtrack, my friend? Maybe some Sin Radio? Hey, Coffee Cup Arcade, welcome aboard. Folks, if you're looking for context, my friend Coffee Cup Arcade likes to stream music from computer systems like the Commodore 64, the ZX Spectrum, even the Atari. And I believe you're streaming right now. We are actually almost at our destination. So I think if we're going to set up for like a medium haul, or like doing something in the future, I think I know exactly who to talk to. But appreciate the offer. Again, CCA is a streamer of computer music tunes and demos, and also occasionally plays games and does QA on stream. If you are not following my friend Coffee Cup Arcade, you may want to go check out his channel right now. But welcome aboard, friend. We're on our way into Orlando. We began our descent probably about 10 minutes ago, I want to say. And we're also below flight level 180, which means we're going to be going back to standard pressure. And if I take a look at my approach, it's going to be 3005. So we're going to adjust our altimeter. And there we go. That's it. 3005, we are turning towards Greeting, and then we're going to be going to the next waypoint, which is Grinch. And we're on the Grinch 5 arrival. We have been flying for a little bit less than an hour, and we are enjoying some really, really hot Florida weather. These clouds, this atmosphere just looks so hazy, so so stifling. You really want to be headed to a pool, or getting dumped on by some rain right about now. But this is the place where rain showers are irregular, so that's not something that anyone would be worried about if you're like a Florida regular. I am not flying on VATSIM or any ATC network like VATSIM or IVAO or Pilot Edge, so I'm not going to be dealing with air traffic control or requesting landing clearance. We should probably see some real-time traffic as we approach Orlando International, and we'll probably see some planes taxiing around, things like that. We are going to be landing on 18 right today, which is, I believe, all the way over on the right-hand side of the airport as we fly in from the north. Now, that does remind me, I'm going to go ahead and adjust my approach, because the approach is going to take us all the way down to the end of the Grinch 5 arrival. And I think instead of Holop, we're going to go direct Naval. And we're going to do that because the approach is going to be a bit easier to do. So, what that means is the flight plan is going to be a bit more direct. We're not going to spend time banking left, banking right. We're just going to slip into the instrument landing systems approach, and then make sure we arm the approach so that we follow it as far down as we can before we take over and we do, manual intervention, actually fly the plane down to the ground. And since I actually have my joystick and throttle quadrants set, I'm hopefully not going to slam it like I usually do if I fly with a gamepad, which is what I tend to do when I'm flying with Microsoft Flight Simulator because lazy. But I'm having a good time today. And hopefully everyone in chat is having a great afternoon. Coming up on 13,000, and just a mental check to myself, I might as well turn my landing lights on now just so I don't forget. Even though they're not required until you pass 10,000 feet, I think everything else is available. I don't think we need wing lights at this point. And I can probably turn my APU on once I'm on final approach, but I'm not going to start it until we taxi off the runway. Just having the APU on and starting it once you taxi off is going to be easier for me. And we don't need to do a flaps 3 landing because the approach speed for today is going to be 135 with the winds. Winds right now are just off my tail, but if I take a look at the weather report for Orlando, winds are 250 at 4. So it is still just enough of a wind complement that it's going to facilitate a south landing. But even if it was winds from like 280 at 4, this plane can land in, I think, a up to 10 knot tailwind without a problem, or at least without doing too much reconfiguration. So we should be fine. Okay, double checking my levels right now. We should be okay. And I'm even going to put a little bit more audio in so you hear a little bit more. Hopefully it won't be too loud. Looking really nice down there. I don't have Global Forests North America for XP12, so you won't see trees show up exactly where they're supposed to. That's just satellite imagery, but it's okay. I'll take that trade-off for being able to actually see nicely modeled default terminals. Although I think the terminal that I have in MSFS and I think in FS 2024 is a bespoke terminal, so it's not going to be, it wouldn't be a complete default airport. We are below 10,000 feet. Let's go ahead and make sure the cabin knows that. All right, cabin has been advised. Below 10,000, let's go ahead and zoom in. Yeah, exactly. This is going to be a nice transition into the ILS for 18 right. 4,000 is the final approach altitude that I have, and also the go-around altitude. And we should probably begin to slow down even more. Once we get to Yago, I'm probably going to start to manually intervene with speed because we need to get down to approach speed. But let's see. I'll probably start coming in manually once we get to that point. And again, let me just double check where we are. Yep, 115 to Naval, and then when we land on 18 right, as long as we don't land too far past the touchdown zone, we should be able to get down to Yankee, cross 18 left, which I believe is closed right now, and then use Charlie. Actually, no. Use Yankee to Bravo 6, and that'll take us to the terminal. Yes. If we land really early, then we could probably take Juliet, but Juliet would also make us go out of the way to get back to the terminal, so I'm not going to do that. We're going to probably exit mid-runway. So that means I need to set my auto brakes to, I could set my auto brakes to low, but I'm going to set my auto brakes to medium and arm my ground spoilers. Ground spoilers armed, auto brakes are armed, and that should do it. That should do it. All right. I would say get your predictions in, but I don't have my old Sim Toolkit Pro running or anything that would actually predict landings in chat. So that's fine. The point would be making sure that we get to the runway touchdown in the touchdown zone in the first, what is that, 1500 or first third, fourth, fifth of the runway at a reasonable rate of descent. To me, reasonable would be 250 feet per minute or less, and we can take a look at the replay to see what that landing rate was like. Okay, we are bleeding off speed. We might not be perfectly at 210 knots, but we are bleeding speed to get to that point. All right, great. Flight attendant, seats for landing. Okay, let's turn the APU on. Coming down to 4,000, and we've got about 4 nautical miles. So I can already see the instrument landing system localizer and glide slope diamonds. We are right on the edge of clean speed, so I'm going to go ahead and do flaps 1. Once we turn, I'm going to go ahead and arm approach mode. Again, thanks to everybody that stopped in today and hung out with me while I flew down to Orlando from Atlanta. Been a really nice flight. Okay, we are turning for the approach. Approach mode is armed, and approach mode is now on the computer system. Okay, so let's do 250 at 4. And let's go ahead and start our descent. We will do 135. Start to slow down, and let's take flaps 2, please, if we can. Well, actually, we should probably get past slat speed first, at least. We are about 12 nautical miles from the airport, so we're not slowing down as quickly as I'd like. We're going to go ahead and take gear down now. That should hopefully make us slow down pretty quickly. Okay, take flap 2. It's a pretty big runway, so I don't necessarily care if we land like, 140 or something, but the problem is it's not necessarily a question of my preference. It's more like, what we should be doing for the approach. But again, 1-8 right is a roughly 12,000 foot long runway, so we should be okay. Should. I mean, 747s, 787s, 777s should most likely have no problems landing at this airport, barring issues. We'll take flap 3.
2,500.
Almost fully configured. And flaps full. Flaps full is in the alpha floor, so I'm going to increase
2,000.
the speed from 135 to 140. And to be honest, with this kind of speed, I'm wondering if I should go back to flaps 3, but let's keep flaps full. Let's check the weather again. Altimeter's 3004. Here we go, chat.
One thousand.
1000 stable. Mr. Approach altitude set. Gears down. Signs are on. Cabin is ready. Spoilers are armed. And flaps are full. We are good.
$500.
My aircraft.
$400.
Stay sharp.
300.
100 above.
200.
Minimum.
Continue.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20.
Retard. Retard.
10.
Retard. 5.
All right. Not too shabby. Spoilers. First green. 60 knots. Auto brake disarm. Brakes are hot. Welcome down, everybody. Welcome to Orlando. Didn't deploy the reversers shortly after touchdown, but we did actually deploy them. And now I think I'm going to go ahead and put the spoilers away and also retract my flaps, excuse me. Stand by. There we go. Stick around for a little while. We'll take a look at the replay and see how we did. No one's coming in, but it does look like somebody was coming in behind me, which is cool. Alright, we'll get the APU started as well. Yep, somebody's coming in. That's cool. Ground is toasty. Welcome down. I believe this is Nimbus KMCO, unless I'm wrong. We will turn constraints, landing scales, and flight directors off. Get the APU bleed on. Turn probe heat off. We can turn the landing lights off. Strobes can come off. Beacon can stay on. Am I missing anything? I'll turn the taxi light off since we're coming into the terminal. Yep, we're running on the APU bleeds now, so we should be fine. And here we go. Welcome to Airside 3, chat. Let's see. Turn the chrono off, so probably about an hour and 9 minutes or so. Actually, I thought we were going to be running late. We're like 15, 18 minutes early. That's superb. Okay. No thrust. This is like idle taxi. There is the terminal. Hopefully everybody enjoyed themselves today. Let's get set. Plugins aren't working. That's all right. Let's see, where are we? Probably go a little bit further if we wanted to. This should be fun. Alright, so basically, instead of shutting down first, we're going to go ahead and do a replay, and then we will be done for today. So let's go ahead and rewind real fast and enjoy the replay views. Orlando time is 4:21 p.m. Really pleased with today's flight. And we'll go ahead and rewind this. Rewinding because I do not want to seek a position. I just want to let this thing kind of like catch itself up appropriately. And that's also the reason why I didn't shut anything down either, because I didn't want anything to look weird. But we exited the runway right where I wanted to. I was almost afraid that we were still going a little too fast, but that was beautiful. I don't know how close we came to the
5. Retail.
40.
the center line, I was going to say. Okay, let's go ahead and run this. Do I care about live traffic right now? I don't know. Let's just take a look at the touchdown. Here we go.
400. 400.
We floated, but gently down. Spoilers up, and reversers. That is not bad. Okay, try it again. Looks like we've got a bunch of traffic piling up on the runway. Maybe I will turn
10,
live traffic off.
100, 200,
Let's see. Let me go back a little bit further, and we'll do the wing view. I will turn live traffic off. Can I do it? Can I do it more easily though? Hang on. Uh, no, it's not going to be much easier than turning it off via the plugin. All right, so we'll shut that off. Do the replay, and coming down. Looks like they might have some rain rolling in. Little too much on the flare. But real smooth on touchdown. Maybe 170, 180? I don't know. I am actually curious. I want to see what the touchdown rate was. We'll take a look inside. All right.
100, 50, 40, 30, 20,
retard,
10,
retard,
It's about 100 feet per minute. It's going to pick up again.
5,
Okay, so right around like 190 to maybe 200 feet per minute. I'm not going to complain about that. That's wonderful. And what about center line? How close were we? We were
10,
pretty close, I'd say.
th-
All right, right about here. Let's see. Let me zoom in. I'm going to zoom past the camera view because we went way past the actual touchdown zone. Yeah, look at those clouds. They're getting a popcorn thunderstorm or two. Duck. Alright, so way, not that far left of center line. Not too shabby. I'm happy with that. Yeah, chat. I am happy with that. Cool. Yeah, welcome down to Orlando. Post replay time, just about 4:30. And I do believe this is an old add-on. Old as in the train terminal isn't built yet by any means. I'm pretty sure they haven't finished it, unless I'm wrong. This I don't think this is default scenery. I don't think. Unless it is default scenery? No. No, it's not. It's not. Relatively sure. Alright. Replay mode off. And let's go ahead and engines 1 and 2 to off. Standby 7000. and turn weather systems off, predictive wind shear off, GCS off, and APU bleed is running. Let's go ahead and request ground services and get external power, shocks, all that turned on. External power is available. Let's go ahead and turn APU bleed, APU off, seatbelts, no smoking signs off, and beacon and nav logo lights can come off. That's it. Let's see. Emergency lighting off, and fuel pumps off. Beautiful. Crew supply off, and can we get... Oh, we're not going to be able to get... I'm pretty sure we're not going to be able to get the jetway connected because Sam might be having issues. At least I think it's not going to happen. It's okay. I'm not terribly worried about that. We'll just pretend that the jetway is going to connect shortly and we are on the ground. We'll take a moment or two to take a look around the airport. There might be some elevation issues. Oh, no. That's just the whatchamacallit, altitude or the draw-in. Little weird, but I'm not going to freak out about that. Yeah, pretty sure this is Nimbus KMCO from a while back. I'm not complaining because this looks very reminiscent of what I used to see when I came here often. Tram will take you into the main terminal, and then once you get past the tram, what'll happen is you go in here, you exit the secure zone, you go downstairs, you go to baggage claim, pick up your stuff, and then you exit here, and here is usually where the buses will be to take you anywhere you want to go. Like for example, Disney, you would go out this way. The bus would basically merge here, and then you basically exit, south exit, Disney Kissimmee, and then you go out that way. You would go past these taxiway bridges, and then the road takes you out past the terminal, which I guess they're building, or excuse me, which should be already ready now. And then somewhere way out this way is Disney World, Magic Kingdom, Epcot, the whole nine. We could probably see what it looks like in this sim, but I can virtually guarantee you that it is not going to do it justice. The photogrammetry available in MSFS is definitely going to do a better job of modeling it. So, welcome down, everybody. Hopefully you've enjoyed today's flight. Thank you for sticking with me through all of this, and we're going to go ahead and wrap up at this point. I'm going to go ahead and grab something to eat really quick, and I am going to raid one of my good friends who is currently doing a marathon to raise money for children's cancer. We are going to raid my friend Eric Flight. Thank you, Book of Gaming. Feel free to stick around for the raid. And like I always like to say at the end of every stream, if you want true peace, you want the Prince of Peace, and that's Jesus Christ. Take care, folks. Have a great rest of your afternoon, and stick around for the raid. We'll see ya.